I'm sure today we will have a lot of questions because we're going to dive into the graphic generator. So what we'll do is before we get to the graphic generator, I want you to actually spend some time on the website. I believe by now everybody knows uh, the main website of SFD. If not, it's actually called sfd.susana.org. I'll put it on chat also. So I just want to quickly visit the site alongside you and see what is available where. So this is the website. As you see, there is the approach, the story behind, about the initiative, the manual, which we were referring to yesterday, even FAQs, and then there are some recorded online training material as well. If you wish to go through these are available. And then there are a lot of presentations, videos also available in the resources section. So if we go into how to make an SFD, you get a lot of other stuff which will be of help to you. The levels of SFD report, which I was referring to yesterday, I'll show you today. The report templates, once you have done the SFD, what is the template of report writing? Then the review procedure, somebody was asking, how do we know whether the SFD is credible or not? So once you're done the SFD, you submit and it gets reviewed. And of course, the other things. So, and some videos. Yeah. So let me just show you the levels of SFD report. If you can see the screen, there are 4 levels of report. One is a light report, then level 1, which is initial, intermediate, level 2, and comprehensive, level 3. And if you see below at the table, it completely shows you what all is required in which kind of or which level of report. So in light report, we are not interested in too much of narration. It's just the SFD graphic uh, and description about the service chain. It's a 8 to 9 pager report max to max. And level 1 SFD, we look at some policy level. So yesterday we were discussing that whether we need policy level things or not. So if you're writing a level 1 report, you need a policy level thing, but you don't need planning, equity, outputs, and expansion. In intermediate, you can include if you have the data, and in comprehensive is the most expanded version of the report you could write. It can go into 100, 150 pages as well. So this is the report where primary data collection is a kind of essential. All the policy level documents are required. Uh, whether there is any planning done for the city, what is the future planning, what is the city doing to make sure equity is restored, quantities, capacities, outputs, expansion, what is the demand, all that goes into the report, which is a comprehensive report. Having said that, you also have a template. So this is the SFD report template. There is a guidance note alongside which helps you to understand what all should go into the report. There is a light report template. Yeah. So let me just open one. I hope you can see my screen. So yeah, so we start with the graphic and then a little bit about the city, the service outcomes. This will come to what is the data and what are the assumptions, what is the list of data sources, and that's about it. That's the light report template. This is the shortest version of the report. So of course, I'm just showing an example. You can of course go through the website and see the templates for other reports as well. Coming to and then so you can keep on visiting this site to see what is happening around SFDs. There are events happening, what is the news, where, who has done which SFD, etc. And on the main page also, if you see the current things are kind of visible, whatever is happening around the world, around SFDs, you can go through. So the most important aspect of doing an SFD is using the tool, which you can see is the graphic generator here. This, of course, my colleague will help us go through, but I wanted to just show you where all what you can get on the website. Okay. Any doubts till now?
Because you were saying yesterday that the codes which were given, like T1, C1, they also have a meaning. So I was exploring through the website. I could not find in there. Is there?
So what we'll do is we'll go through the graphic generator. There we'll find all these systems there, and you'll get some idea. And maybe towards the end of the day today, I'll reiterate what exactly these. How do we really bifurcate the codes? I'll talk about it in the end.
But is it given in the website or somewhere?
It's in the manual.
Okay.
I mean, not very specifically how or what code means, but if you go to the manual, you can make out what exactly is and how the codes are done. But I'll touch upon it towards the end. Yeah. Okay, so
I
I
have a
somehow
question.
feel, yeah, Shukawat, you want to say something?
Yes, I have seen that in this website, there are three types of SFT reporting. You have, there is mentioning, but the thing is, can we get any sample report to know how this should compile?
Sorry, how?
How to compile all these three type of level SFT report?
So I think I missed out on this. So once you go onto the website, you have all the SFDs also uploaded here. Okay, so you will find for all types of reports are kind of uploaded. So let me just open it. So more than 100 SFDs are uploaded on this web page, and all types, level 1, 2, 3, SFD Lite, and in the Moodle platform, we had uploaded all the levels of SFDs as well. If you go back to the Moodle platform, there are some sample reports done, uploaded for you to have a look. So just for example's sake, let me just click one of these. So Katak, I mean, we understood Katak while understanding how to read. So you can just download the report. So this is a more like a level 2 report. Because it was done in 2015, at that time we did not had 3-4 levels, but this is not comprehensive, but level 2. So You have an executive summary to start with.
So how can we define that this is level 1 or 2 or 3 report by viewing this
It's
report?
it's actually mentioned on the SFD. If you look at the SFD graphic, top left level of SFD is written.
Okay, thanks.
But as you said, I've already spoken to the IT people behind, and we are going to soon introduce a filter for levels of report as well. That's already under process. So somebody wants to just look at level 1 reports, so they can filter that we have already we are working on that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So you see, this is a 30-pager report. Uh, it has the policy level things and other things if you look at the contents, but it is not very primary data intensive report. So all the policy, institutional roles, all of these things are there, but level 2. Okay. So I somehow feel the energy levels is down today. So I would like you to unmute yourself and show your video. And share something so that I get to know the energy levels are back.
No, we are thinking how we can go about a 30 actually.
Okay.
One question from my side. I probably I'm not came for the introduction session actually. This is SAP tool is from which year it was actually implemented. Who have developed it's a consortia or it's CSC has partnership or something? It's because I'm finding the data.
So why we had actually kept this in two parts was that the phase 1 where you were supposed to go through the videos, that completely explains the story behind SFDs, the consortium, everything. So we did not want to spend time on that in this virtual sessions. But since you have asked, this is the SFD promotion initiative, which consists of academic institutes like EWAG, University of Leeds, WEDEC, Loughborough University, and then World Bank, GIZ, and CSC from India. I think I'm not missing out, and of course Gates Foundation. So this consortium came together to improvise on the SFDs done by World Bank in 2013, if I'm 13 or 14. So before this version of the tool, we had an Excel-based tool which was very difficult to use, and the initial SFDs that CSC has done are actually using those tools only. The one we saw right now in the report was done by the Excel tool. So slowly and steadily, we have improved on the graphic, how it looks, and also we have improved the user interface, the graphic generator, which we call now. So this version of the graphic generator is very easy to use as compared to what the previous version was. And now we are still further improving the way you would enter data to it to make it more simpler. So we are already in phase 3 of this SFD promotion initiative, and so the things which you're working right now is improving the user interface, improving the website further down, and also making sure that more and more people are doing SFDs around the world is what in phase 3 we are trying to do.
Wanted to add to Bitush your thing, and Shubha, to answering your question. This is Suresh Rohila here. I am the lead over here. We are the knowledge partners on the work package on refining the tool and the methodology, which was developed by World Bank, and the knowledge partners are University of Leeds and CSC. And we have also ensured that the local contextualization of the terminology glossary which is used by the global players should be brought to local context such that we understand very well. Also, I think at this stage, Bitush, it will be good that if we can talk about the provision of in the full report regional context SFD also. So there is also provision that within the SFD that if there is in India and South Asia where there is a peculiar situation is there, that we also have good septic tanks where containment happens. So we have also made sure that the Indian efforts or South Asia efforts are reflected adequately into the SFD. So we continue to be the knowledge partner. Initially, we partnered and we were funded through GIZ as a part of a consortia, but now we are directly funded through BMGF for institutionalizing and rollout of SFDs in Africa, in Asia, and India. So this is the phase 3. Earlier, it was only we started in phase 1 with we had, if you I don't know if you follow CSC, we had done a study of 72 cities, which is called Excreta Matters. And we had used reports and findings to push for advocacy for improved urban sanitation. However, it was thought that, if there is a good advocacy tool, we selected out of those 72 cities, we selected a few cities, around 10, 11 cities across the country. And we started converting or going to those cities and prepared SFDs for those cities. We had done the Excreta Matter report, which was used to, bang on the government door, saying that, government is not doing anything on water and sanitation. However, taking the positive side of it, that saying to the decision makers to tell that red color means you are in danger zone, we partnered with international players to pitch the advocacy to the next level. And that resulted in basically, CSC had also prepared a septage management first paper in India for pushing advocacy, and Amrut program had dedicated funding for FSM infrastructure. However, with the SFDs coming in place as a good advocacy tool, the National Fecal Sludge Management Policy has also come in place. And different players since 2015 have become very active. Like in South, CDD was working, IHS has been working, and in Maharashtra, SEPT has been doing, ASCII has been, they were working in their own states and cities. However, this movement started in 2015-16 onward, but CSC has been working on Excreta Matters in 2009 till 2013-14, when the Excreta Matter had come in. Much before BMGF came in and much before all these partners started working on Excreta or septage as a subject. So just wanted to give you this background. So we have almost completed, I think, 12 to 13 years now. And this is an exciting phase where we are institutionalizing everything, where government's advisories have incorporated SFDs into the advisory and as well as the city sanitation planning process.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah, so before we continue and to make sure that you don't sleep, I need
Regional context thing.
I need an input from your side, all of you. Whether you want to share something from yesterday, what you're looking up to today. Shubha has contributed, so rest. One by one, quickly. Yeah. Saurav, you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say something. Somehow I missed understanding of how the wastewater is calculated from yesterday's session. So if anybody is interested in sharing that particular chapter with me, then I would appreciate it much.
Okay. Anybody wants to answer him?
This is the question.
Quickly. So we are doing this exercise so to make sure that all of us are going along. Yeah.
What is the question? Sorry.
He's saying he did not get how do we calculate the wastewater component of yesterday's data analysis component? How do we really calculate wastewater?
I think I would also want to deep dive into that and
That's a smart way to.
Practically calculates few things to get
So
clarity.
okay, so just to give some idea on that, we will be doing it during the exercise today, group work, and so I'll be floating around in all the groups. We'll discuss that. Okay. Imran, you want to say something?
No, just want to share that we are still motivated, and from the last 2 days we have just learned how to read SFD, and yesterday for class we learned how to develop the initial part of how to develop SFD. So we are really excited to today's the last day, and hope after the class we will be able to know that how we will develop a SFD. So hope this will help us in the next level.
Okay. So the way you said excited was not looking very excited, but I will believe. Yogita?
Regarding that calculation, I think we can also use that 80% of water consumption as wastewater.
Okay. Thank you. Jay?
Nothing to share much, but just it was a 2-day good exercise. Yesterday was lengthy. Thought about it went after 5, so but nothing to share much.
So bear with us today as well. Okay. Suraj? We can't see you.
Okay, just a second. What I have learned yesterday is that a map is a very important tool to analyze the data. So we need to be smart, analyze the data, and complete the story.
Okay. You've picked up some words. Okay. Yash? I guess you have some internet issues as well. Sumanda?
Yeah, can you?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you repeat the question? I can't hear anything.
No, there is no question.
But,
we just
but
want to.
I can't hear your voices properly.
It's okay.
My internet connection is.
So if at all you miss on something, the recording will be made available.
I can't hear.
Okay.
Drop it
No
in the chat,
sound.
something. I think voice is breaking. Just tell him that we'll provide the recording.
Okay. No problem. Okay, so we move on. Sumanda, you want to say something? Kawat?
Yesterday's lesson, I think the data collection process was very interesting for me, and it's quite new. So if it will be helpful that when we go to the field to collect data, so the overall process from the beginning to end, it will help me a lot.
Thank you. Pushka? So I'm not going to leave anyone.
Yes, so yeah. So calculation part was quite. We had to look. We have to look into that further.
Can we see you as well if it's
Yeah,
not
okay.
too much of an issue?
Yeah. We
Okay.
have to look into the calculation part later when we are working on.
All right.
So otherwise we're having no differentiation.
Okay. Mainuddin?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah.
Audible?
Yes.
Yesterday's class, I could understand that we could get the scenario of sanitation process in using the data analysis of all the areas and collect in a single piece so that everybody can understand regarding that SFT. That's all.
Okay. Mukesh?
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, first of all, thank you all for this training. Overall, yesterday it was good, and I think it is the good for preparing the SFT as well. And I have no more.
So, all energetic for today, right?
Yeah. We are always.
Okay. Soni Kumari, you want to say something?
Yeah, actually, I would apologize because it is a lot of seminar. I was not such an active listener, but after today, I will make sure that I will take up all the sessions very attentively.
Okay.
Hello.
So yeah. So
Hello.
can you hear me?
Hope you understand. Actually, this is the Gandhi Jayanti. Yeah, yeah.
No problem. Thank you for joining, and hopefully you are able to find time to attend the full thing. All right. With this brief
Sure.
introduction again, let's dive into the graphic generator. And you are free to ask questions while we go through the graphic generator so that we understand how we use the tool. And then we will, and it's not that you have to get everything right away from the presentation right now. While we do the exercise, we will kind of be diving deeper into using the tool, and we will try and answer any specific questions then as well. So looking at the time, let's not waste further any time, and I would request my colleague Harsh to take us through what this graphic generator is all about. So you can unmute yourself, Harsh, and share your screen.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Harsh Yadav. So I'll be taking you to the graphic generator today. Just tell me if my screen is visible to you all.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So is everyone here?
Yes.
I am not able to hear you all.
Yes, we are.
Here? Yes.
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just start. So before we start, is there anyone who is not aware that what is a graphic generator? Anyone? So I guess everyone is aware that what is a graphic generator. So let's just start with this. First of all, I would like to tell you that a graphic generator is a tool where we are able to feed data which we have taken from the ground and from the secondary sources to generate what? To generate the flow of excreta in the city and wastewater in the city. So as Bitushar has already told you that this is the website where we can find the graphic generator. Let's go to the website and generate a graphic for you all. So I'll be telling you in a hypothetical way, taking some random values. This is the first page which we get when we go to the graphic generator page on the Sosana website. Here we have three parts. One first we have to see here we have three toggle keys here, which first one says to start a new graphic. Second one says choose your own SFD graphic SFD file, and third one is load from the library. So if you want to start a new graphic, go with this, and it will come down, and then we can see that there is 3 parts in this whole page. One part where you have to put the general or information of the city, middle part where you have to put the technologies and the systems which you have observed in the cities, just the systems, and in the next part of that you have to put the percentages of the population which is dependent on these kind of systems, and in the last part you have to draw the SFD graphic. So let's just start it. So here I'm starting with an example of city X. Let's just name the city. It is called X city. It is in the Y province, and the name of the country is Z. So when we put the date of the preparation of the graphic, we put the date when we last visited the city for collecting the data. So let's just say it's 2nd of October 2020, and let's just say the population of the city is 2,50,000. So as Bitushar was saying that there are 4 types of reports which we can generate from the SFT graphic. Here is the place where we mention it on the graphic, that what kind of graphic we have generated, what kind of level we are generating from the graphic. So here you can set it, like it could be initial level, intermediate level, or comprehensive level, or it all depends on the type of data and authenticity of the data, and how much deeper you have gone in the data to find out the reality of the city in terms of wastewater and excreta. Let's just, now we are supposed to make SFD light reports, so we'll be taking SFD light here, and who is preparing? Let's just say it is prepared by CSE. The next part is
I would request you to zoom in your web page a bit. Clear to us.
Is it fine?
Yeah. Thank you.
Is it fine now?
Yeah. It's good. Thank you.
So if when we go to the next part, we have to see before when we have put all the general information of the city, now we have to think of the define what is the status of the groundwater level in the city. So you can see a key out here in this right panel, which says risk of groundwater. Whenever you click it, you will be able, it will take you to a new window in the system, and which will define, where you will define if the city is under groundwater risk or not. Before going to the groundwater risk, you have to be sure in your data that if you are aware of the groundwater level, groundwater depth of the city, and if you are aware of the number of sanitation facilities which are in vicinity to the, that is maybe less than 10 meter to the groundwater sources in the city, and also one more thing, that what is the percentage of sanitation facilities that are located uphill of groundwater sources. So this would all help you define if the city is under groundwater risk or not. So let's just quickly go with that. First we have to see if the city is, what kind of rock type the city has. So in India we usually take it fine sand, silt and clay. What is the groundwater depth? Let's just take it is to 10 meters, and let's just say that I was telling you that we have to be clear in our after our survey and everything, that how much is the percentage of the sanitation facilities that are located less than 10 meter from the groundwater sources. So if they are less than 10 meter, let's say there are 25% of the sanitation facilities which are located less than 10 meter from the groundwater. What is the percent? Then again we have to say, we have to fill in the information about the sanitation facilities which are located uphill. Let's just say they are less than 25%. So when I took it less than 25%, you can see it all went green. So if I'm taking greater than 25%, it is going for significant risk. and if here also I'm taking, it's going for significant. So what is the percentage of drinking water? What is the percentage of drinking water produced from groundwater? Let's just say it is less than between 1% and 25%. So when I'm doing 1% to 25% of the water supply is not from is from groundwater sources, it is showing as overall risk as low risk. But when I'm going with greater than 25%, it is going for significant risk. Here, if there is one more thing here, if I say it is less than 25%, that the less than 25% of the facilities that are located near less than 10 meter from the groundwater sources, then it is also showing as significant risk of groundwater. So now we have here defined what is the groundwater risk of the city. In the fourth question in the groundwater assessment, we have to define whatever groundwater technology we are using in the city, is it protected or not? What kind of system we are using? Like, is it an unprotected borehole, dug well, or spring, or maybe a protected borehole, protected dug well? So let's just say it's a protected dug well. So for this city X, let's just say say we are going with the high risk of groundwater, and now we are aware that there is a significant risk of groundwater in the city. So we have already defined that the city has significant risk of groundwater. Now we'll go to the next part of the graphic generator. Here what we will see a table which has two lists, list A and list B. In list A, what it is telling is what is the type of systems, that is, what are the type of systems in the city which you have observed, which are present in the city. Like your toilet is connected to what kind of systems in the city. And then in list B, it is further exploring that those systems which you have defined in list A are connected to what. For example, let's say we have seen a system called septic tank in the city. Okay? So in septic tank, where it is further connected in the city. So let's just say it is connected to an open drain. So when I toggled it, it is showing that a system T1A2C6, which you might have observed yesterday in the data when we were explaining that there was a system called T1A2C6, that is septic tank connected to an open drain. See, so this is one part. Let's just say there are also septic tanks which are connected to a sewer. So we'll take this to centralize. It is connected to centralized foul and separate sewer. This is we have defined. Also, let's just say there are also when we were surveying in the city, and when we were collecting the data for the city, we observed that there are also toilets in the city which were connected directly to a sewer line. So what we will do here, what we will go for, toilets connected to a centralized separate or foul sewer. And also if you see broadly, we also observe, let's just say we observe.
Sorry to interrupt, can you zoom, because we can't read. Thank you.
And also, what level of SFD are we preparing? Like, what did we choose?
I have mentioned that we are preparing a SFD light report here. Light level we are preparing.
Okay, thank you.
Now, is it clear?
Yes, now we can read. I can.
So also when I was in the city, this is all hypothetical, and I'm taking random values to explain you all. Okay, if you have any question or if you want to take any other system, you can interrupt and ask me in between. Okay, so let's just say we also saw some toilets in the city which had no containment, but they were connected to open drains. You know? I mean, they do not had any kind of storage. So what we will take in this list B is first we'll see what kind of on-site system was it. Toilet discharged directly to the designation given in list B. One designation was that the toilet connected to sewer, and second is they are connected to drains. So to open drain or storm sewer. So you have seen, now we are defining the codes. The earlier which Bitu sir was saying that there are codes. Here we are defining the codes codes which we have observed in the city, and we don't need to remember the codes, we just to remember the systems which we have observed in the city. What else I have observed in the city, that there were also some fully lined tanks, that is a cuboidal box which is completely sealed but also connected to an open drain. So when it's connected to open drain, what kind of system I will take? This. I hope you are all with me. Hello?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes. If you will keep on saying yes a bit, I will be also connected. So
If
let's
you,
just say
one question, if you have whatever the system you have mentioned, if it is 1 or 2 or maximum in the population, everything you will put into the figure, right?
it also depends on that. Is that, I mean, there is something which is I won't say a drawback of SFD, but SFD usually takes values in complete figures, like it do not take decimal values in terms of percentages. So what we prefer, if you observe anything over 1% in context to a city, let's say if you went to a city of population 100, and there was a population that is 1% which was using unlined pit, then you would be required to put that in here. But if you are not sure that no, this kind of system is not used by more than 1% of the population, then it is advised to avoid that in this part of the SFD.
So first, you just need to allocate what are the systems,
Yeah.
and then you decide quantum, right?
Yeah. So here in this, what you are seeing on my screen is the place where you are defining what I have observed in the city.
Okay.
So if I'm the person who went for the survey and for the secondary data and everything, I saw that I find septic tank there. Yes, septic tank was some percentage. I can say like some percent of population is there which is using septic tank. Some percent of population is there which is using full line tank, and some percent of population is there which is using toilets which have no containment. So that is how I am defining these systems in the city.
So,
Excuse me.
we'll put all the systems that we have observed, right?
Yeah.
And when we go to the field, we have to verify each and every household.
No. It's, I mean, that also a part of analysis and data collection you have done earlier. I mean, all this which I am putting at the moment is done with the help of an Excel file which we prepared before diving to this part of the process of generating SFD graphic. So that Excel would help you to put the systems in the here in the graphic.
But more than one person, so that's helpful. So
Yeah,
that's
that would be helpful to generate a graphic.
Okay, thank you.
Because when you take less than 1%, then by default SFD graphic would take 0 in that. We'll see in the further part of today in the exercise and in the next section. Let me just complete this one. So I have taken fully lined tank that is connected to open drain. Now I've also seen some kind of pits which had semi-permeable balls or semi-permeable balls. So I have taken it in significant risk. So can anyone tell me why I have taken in significant risk?
Because of maybe it will go to the ground through seepage.
So as I have already defined that the city is under significant risk of groundwater. That is why I am taking it under significant risk of groundwater. You can see if my screen is visible to all, you can see there are two types. If there is one type is low risk of groundwater here and significant risk of groundwater. You can take this also, you can take this also. But I am aware that the system that my city is under groundwater risk, which I have already defined. So I'll take this one. I hope I'm clear.
Yeah, because of your first step, right?
Yeah. Which I have already defined. So let's just say the last part, what I have, I mean, I could not find any kind of unlined pit in the city or any pit which is never emptied or abandoned or full. All these type of systems I could not find in the city, or maybe I find in the city, but they were not more than 1% or a percentage that could be representable in the graphic. I am not taking these kind of systems.
So these not applicable fields are based on the like information we have filled so far.
Please come again.
These blanks not applicable fields are there because of the information we have filled so far. Like it's
No. They are already present. I mean, they are the overall they are uh, these are the type of choices you have.
okay.
So
Okay.
if you go to the SFT manual, you can see that what kind of choices you have, and also it also depends on you that how well you are able to inculcate from the survey you have done in the city, and you can match it with the choices you have found in the graphic generator. Let's say for an example, you went for an household survey where a person said that sir, I have a pit, but it is open, but I have made walls around it, but walls are honeycomb. So you can gauge it from there that yeah, walls are honeycomb, then there must be seeping on the edges, and they're also seeping towards downward. So if anyone would like to tell me what kind of system here it is. Hello.
Lined with semi-permeable walls.
Yeah. So this is how I'm trying to add systems in this particular column.
Just to add to what Harsh is explaining, the not applicable means that, so what we are trying to do here is list A connected to list B. If you can just scroll up, Harsh, a little bit. Yeah. So there are certain systems like line pit with open bottom will not be connected to a centralized sewer. It's not possible. So the systems which are not possible, as in the list A connected to list B, there are certain permutations which are not possible, and that's how those are not applicable. So you don't waste your time with the too much of selections which are irrelevant.
Right.
Similarly, open defecation will not be connected to centralized sewer. It's not possible.
That is why it's written not applicable.
Okay.
Actually, you were asking about not applicability. So let's just say there is some percentage of population which is doing open defecation, and that is they are doing on open ground. Is it clear now? So I've taken open defecation, which is they are doing on open ground. So from here, now I have already defined the systems which I have observed in the city, and now I'm aware. Now I have told to the graphic that these were the systems and these were the technologies in terms of containments which I observe in the cities. Now the next part of the graphic asks us that whether the containments have the full percentage of fecal sludge in it or some other percentage of fecal sludge in it. So when before creating a matrix, it asks us enter the proportion of contents of each type of on-site container which is fecal sludge. So here, though it is written fecal sludge, but it is actually asking what is the percentage of solid and liquid in a containment, in a container. So let's just say if a septic tank is there or is a pit, let's just say if there is a pit, then what would be the percentage of solid part and what would be the percentage of liquid part in that container. So in case of Indian scenario and most of the Asian scenario, as we are the washers, we take it 50%. That 50% part of the container is fecal sludge or maybe solid, or 50% part of the container is a liquid. As we already know that a lot of water and other things which go to the tanks which are connected.
50% is may a high percentage. It may 30 almost.
But we take it as 50%. Am I clear to all?
Yes.
So from here we create a SFD matrix. This matrix is a place where you put percentage of the population which is dependent on the different types of systems which you have defined earlier in the earlier stages. So let's just create a matrix from here. So now you must you all can read. I hope everyone can read these above headings. So in the left side we have the type of systems with codes, as these codes were defined in the earlier stage, and it is also written in below that what kind of system you have taken earlier. So now it is saying on the left side that toilet discharges directly to the centralized or centralized foul or separate sewer. So it means toilets that are connected directly to a sewer. So we need to define a percentage of we need to define here the population which is connected directly to the whose toilets is connected directly to the centralized separate foul sewer. So let's just say 10% of the population is here in the city which is connected, whose toilet is connected to a centralized separate foul sewer. Let's go to the next part, that is T1. Now at the moment I'm just defining the percentage of population to the containment, I mean to the first part. The next part would be W4A, W4C, W5A. All these would include the next part value chain, that is emptying, transport and treatment. First we'll fill up all these things. Let's just say T1A1C6, which says that toilet discharge is directly to open drain. So let's just say I found 2% of the population which has connected their toilets directly to an open drain.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Why the color in this W4A is in green and F3, F4 is
So this green and so this is not just green, it is all yellow and red also. So green part shows that what in the wastewater part, yellow part shows the fecal sludge part, and red part shows the supernatant part. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, thank you.
So septic tank connected to centralized separate and foul sewer. Let's just say it is also 10%. Septic tank connected to open drains. Let's just say it's 20%. Fully lined tank. I'm taking these values very randomly. We'll see what kind of SFD it would generate. Okay. Let's just say fully lined tank connected to open drain are 30%. I have observed 5% of open defecation in the city. And let's just say 10% of the population is lined pit with semi-permeable walls and open bottom. Let me just increase the percentage a bit with this. So now we have defined the percentages of the population. Let's just see if it's getting going with 100% or not. So 10 plus 2 is 12 plus 2 is 22 plus 28. Still it is getting 95. So now it's 100%. I hope you are all with me.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
So here in this part, I have defined the containment system. Now I'll move forward. I'll see what W4A asked me. What W4A is asking me, proportion of wastewater in sewer system which is delivered to centralized treatment plants. So I need to check. I need to think in. Think in a way that I have to find out how much is the population's wastewater in the sewer system which is reaching to the treatment plant. Let's just say in the sewer, 80% of the population's wastewater is reaching to the treatment plant. Okay. And then if we go to the next part, that is W5A, let's just say the efficiency of treatment system, that is the treatment plant is able to treat 90% of what it is getting every day. So let's just say if it is getting 100% of water, then it is able to treat 90% of the water efficiently. In W5A, what it asks us is proportion of wastewater delivered to the centralized treatment plant which is treated. If we move forward here, in W5C F3, we will as toilet connected to a centralized separate foul sewer would be the waste coming from the toilet would be considered as wastewater in this scenario. What we have designed for City X.
Why isn't there any this percentage after W5A in these boxes?
It is because just think of a system. I'm asking you, just think of a system where the toilet is connected to a sewer. So then what will happen, that from sewer it will be going to a treatment plant. So all other systems would be not applicable for all this for this part of containment system, that is T1, A1, C2. All these W5C, W4C, F3, F4, S4E, S4D, and will not be applicable for T1, A1, C2. That is why it is not present for the matrix is not showing, asking for the percentage for this kind of system. Am I clear?
Yes, thank you.
So depending on the code, what we giving for the initial inputs, it's populate the collection to the treatment, right?
Yes, yes. So
I think I want to understand when you're putting the percentage 10 to 10, because you have mentioned 250,000 is a population, right?
Yes.
And you're going to take a random sampling. You are going to visit per settlement 50 household. There is a thumb rule also. Yesterday people are mentioning it. You put simulation here on that, like 10% means see, you are covering 100% the percentage level here. That means you are analyzing all 250,000. It is actually the in principle thing. But how this is, I have clarification how this will be in the ground when you analyze it. Like, for example, how you take it area wise, you constrain the percentage, or how?
No, we are not taking area. We are strictly taking it on the base of population. So for simpler, let me take it a very simple example. Okay, let's just say a city has 100 people, and out of those 100 people, when I went to their houses, I understood that 20 people are using septic tank connected to open drain. Understood? So I will put 20 here. Sorry, septic tank connected to open drain. I would put 20 here. Also, in those 100 people, I saw that 10 people were using toilet that are connected directly to a sewer. So I will put 10 here. But on the ground, how you would analyze it, that was explained earlier also. But also in the next part, when you will do exercise, you will get to understand how you have to take it. This is just to tell you that how to draw a graphic from the data you have already analyzed and analyzed from the city. How would you generate a graphic from it? Okay.
There's one more question. So first column is clear. That's the percentage of population, right? But when we shift to aqua and yellow and orange, which is like wastewater, fecal sludge, and supernatant, in this there's a percentage of wastewater, not population, right? Here now we shift to the percentage of the wastewater or the supernatant or fecal sludge. We do not no more stick to population. I'm asking this, like
So it is
this is
asking.
how I got it. Yeah.
It is asking you the proportion of supernatant. I mean, so let's just. I'll explain in the next part. Just be here for a minute, okay? So now we have I have put this first part 80, 90, and okay. Clear. Let's go to T1 C6. Now we have 2% of the population which is dependent on the toilets which are directly connected to a open drain. Okay, and when I was in the city, when I was on the city, I understood from the city that the open drains, the population which is dependent, the open 80% of the open population which is dependent on open drains is reaching to a treatment plant. So I will put 80 here. Maybe it could be less than sewer also. For example, I understood that when I was analyzing our data, let's say there were 100 people in the city, 20 people were connected to a sewer. Okay. I hope you are getting it, na?
The first column is clear. Next one, I'm not able to see how you calculate.
I'm telling you how to fill the percentage for this. It is asking us the proportion of wastewater in open sewers or storm drain which is delivered to a treatment plant. It is asking us the population dependent on open drains, whose wastewater is going in open drains, and what is the percentage of that open drain population is which is reaching to a treatment plant.
So let me just try and answer this one. So column 1 is strictly dependent on the population. I think column 1 is everybody is clear. And as Harsh has explained, taking an example of a city of 100, we are looking at a scale from the city. We are not looking at society, ward, different levels. So as Harsh has explained, the column 1 is very clear. But as we move on from column 1, now we are not too much concerned about the population which is dependent on that particular system. All we are concerned is, again, thinking from a point of view of 100%. So the question, if I read again, W4A, it says proportion and not population. Proportion of wastewater in sewer system which is delivered to the treatment plant. So if all the wastewater in the sewer is equal to 100, what is the proportion of that which is reaching the treatment plant? So if my answer is whatever is flowing in the sewer system, only 80% of that reaches, so I put 80%. Similarly for open drains. So I'm not looking at, again, 2%. I don't have to calculate out of 2%. The question being asked is, whatever is flowing in the stormwater drain, what proportion of that is reaching the treatment facility? So it could be
proportion of the wastewater.
Proportion of the wastewater which is flowing through that particular system. So W4A was for sewer system. So we'll imagine if all the wastewater of sewer is equal to 100, then what is the proportion out of 100 I need to feed in that? Similarly for stormwater drains, similarly other aspects as well.
Okay, thank you.
So, so this W4C is asking us that how much the water which is in the open drains which is reaching to a treatment plant. Let's just say it is also 80%. Now the treatment plant is same for both sewer and the wastewater coming from the sewer and from the open drain. And we have earlier taken it is 90%. So here also we will take 90%. W5 is asking us that the wastewater which is coming to the treatment plant from open drains, how much it is getting treated. So we say it is 90% of the wastewater which is coming from the open drains, it is getting treated. I hope it is clear now.
Yeah, so just to add another, I mean, I'm sure it's clear, but as Harsh is saying, when we say 90%, what we mean is 90% of what has reached the treatment plant. And what has reached the treatment plant is 80% of what was flowing in the sewer line.
And is W5A and W5C are connected? Like in the first?
No,
No?
5A and 5C are not connected by the way, but 5A and 4A are connected. So what 5A is asking you, what percentage of 4A is reaching the treatment, is getting treated.
W4A is connected with W5A.
Yes.
Okay. And W4C is connected with W5C.
W5.
Okay. 4A is not treated, but 5A is treated. 4C is not treated, but 5C is treated. Okay?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
But then it is not, 4A doesn't mean that it will not get treated. 4A is only saying that what is the wastewater which is reaching the treatment plant. We are not saying there will be, so there will be some proportion of 4A that will get treated.
Okay.
So let's just move forward from here. We have we have taken septic tank connected to centralized separate foul sewer. Now we'll take, can I zoom out a bit?
Harsh, why don't you feed in the numbers and then explain in one go, instead of taking the numbers simultaneously?
Okay.
Just feed in the numbers quickly and then expand and then share.
So sorry, just confirming that every time like 5A and 5C is breakup of like first it is delivered and after that it's breakup of deliverable. Like that.
First part is the what is going.
Harsh, you feed. So just feed in the data. Meanwhile, I'll try and explain this. So each row, whatever number you're feeding is interdependent with the cell before that on the left. Okay.
You mean column?
Row. So W5A will be dependent on W4A, and W4A is dependent on the population which is connected. So similarly, F5 is dependent on F4, F4 is dependent on F3.
It's a column.
Row.
I can't.
So one
F3.
system. So for each system, there is one row.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you see T1, A2, C2, there is a value you need to enter F3. There is F4, F5. All three are interdependent. Can you see the row?
Yes.
I call it column like.
No.
F3.
Horizontal is row. Horizontal.
Yeah.
Is
So he's talking about F3, F4. That's column, right?
No. It's row. F3, F4, F5.
So you're taking F3 as one column. I'm not saying all F3 are connected. I'm saying F3 is connected to F4.
Yeah.
F4 is connected to F5.
Okay, got it.
So, yeah. So what I mean to say is that F3 is saying proportion of population which is using the system with emptying. F4 is saying how much of that fecal sludge which is reaching the treatment plant, and F5 is saying what is the fecal sludge which is getting treated finally. So when I enter any value for F5, that is only saying what proportion of F4. When I enter any value for F3, that is what proportion of population which is dependent on the system is using the system with emptying. So Harsh will explain it further. But yeah, all I mean to say is that if you pick one row, all of them are connected. And you don't have to kind of compare it with the other systems. So for each system, there is a story, and that story should add up in that particular row itself.
So let's go to the row which is T1, A2, C2. Okay. So we have 10% of the population which is dependent on this kind of system. Now let's go to F3. F3 is proportion of this type of system from which fecal sludge is emptied. So it is asking us like proportion of septic tanks, proportion of this type, like what is the percentage of the proportion? I'm sorry. So what is it asking is, see, what is the proportion of this type of system from which fecal sludge is emptied? So let's just say we found out in the city that septic tank that there is a 70% of the city is practicing emptying. I mean, 70% of the 70% of this type of systems which we found in the city were getting emptied. So we have put 70% here. Now next part is, let's just say out of those 70%, only 50% were able to deliver the emptied fecal sludge to a treatment plant, and 50% were not delivering to the treatment plant. Maybe they are discharging to a low-lying land or somewhere in the drains or nallas, or maybe in the open fields, but they are not delivering to the treatment plant. We have taken it 50% is going to the treatment plant and 50% is not going to the treatment plant. And then out of that, what is reaching to the treatment plant, 90% is getting treated here. I hope it is clear now. In the F5, what it is saying that 90%, what it is asking us is proportion of fecal sludge, which is proportion of fecal sludge delivered to the treatment plant, which is treated. So we have said here is 90% is getting treated here.
Can I have a question?
Yeah.
So in F3 you say that the proportion of this type of system from which fecal sludge is empty is 70%.
Yeah.
So out of that 70%, 50% is delivered to the treatment plant and 50 is not delivered to the treatment plant. You know? And out of 50% again, 90% is delivered to.
So out of whatever it is delivered to the treatment plant, 90% is getting treated.
Okay.
Then again, these are septic tanks which have outlets to the sewer. We will be having a supernatant coming out of these sewer, coming out of these septic tanks, which will be flowing into the sewer, and then that sewer will be connected to a treatment plant. So what we earlier took was the percentage of wastewater that was in the sewer which is reaching to the treatment plant was 80. So here also what I have taken is 80%. That is, it is asking us the proportion of supernatant in the sewer system which is delivered to the treatment plant. So whatever supernatant, whatever thing is there in the sewer, how much it is reaching to the treatment plant. We have taken 80% of whatever it is in the sewer is reaching to the treatment plant. Maybe 20% is lost due to the inefficiency of the sewer, or maybe there are some blockage in the sewer. So we have defined 80% here. Then whatever it is reaching, whatever supernatant is reaching from the sewer to the treatment plant, 90% is getting treated here. In the last part, that is S5D. So next, I hope everyone is clear here. We'll go to the next part, that is T1A2 C6. It is septic tank connected to open drain. Here also we have seen that it is a septic tank and it is getting the 70% of these kind of system in the city are getting emptied, and 50%, that is F4, is reaching to the treatment plant, and then in F5 it is 90% which is getting treated, and S4 is asking that what is the supernatant in the open drains, that is proportion of supernatant in open drain or storm sewer which is delivered to the treatment plant. So we have also taken it 80% here. So it's this 80% value shows that of the 100% supernatant in the open drains, only 80% of the supernatant is reaching to the treatment plant, and then 90% is getting treated over there, over the treatment plant, that is S5E. Proportion of supernatant in the open drains or storm sewer that is delivered to the treatment plants which is treated, that is, we have taken it 90%. Next part is fully lined tank connected to open drain or storm sewer. Here also we have taken 70% as emptying. 70% of these type of systems are getting emptied, and out of the emptied percentage, the 50% is delivered to the treatment plant, but 50% is not delivered to the treatment plant. And whatever is delivered to the treatment plant in F5, it is getting treated by 90%. And the supernatant coming out of that is reaching by 80% to the treatment plant. And the last part of the story, how much it is getting treated, that is 90%. Now the last part is like for open defecation, we do not have any kind of supernatant or any kind of wastewater flowing. So we do not have these things. We do not have any kind of column or percentage to be put here. But last part is this line pit with semi-permeable walls and open bottom. So we have 5% of the population which is using this kind of system. In that 50% of these kind of systems are getting emptied, which I have taken, and 50% is reaching to the treatment plant in F4, and 90% is getting treated in F5. So here we have defined the percentages in terms of seeing the sanitation value chain. As you can see from here, this above bar is already representing a kind of sanitation value chain. Here we have system containment. Here we have kind of emptying part, and then we have transport part, and in the last part we have treatments. The number 5, wherever we have written this number 5, it is a treatment. 4 represents kind of transport, and 3 represents emptying. So after this, we have the last part where we need to generate a graphic. Before that, we have this small column which says that if the city is celebrating open defecation free or not, zero open defecation or not. Like if you are in X city, then has this city been declared open defecation free or not? Let's just say it's not declared open defecation free, or if it is declared open defecation free, then it would have a star sign when we generate a graphic. But I have not toggled it yet, and I'm jumping to drawing a SFD graphic. So this is the graphic which we have generated for X city, which is in Y state and Z country.
So after providing all the inputs, this graph is generated.
This graphic is generated. This is how now we can also read this graphic. Let's just see whatever we put to the graphic, how it is shown in the whatever we put into the matrix, how it is shown in the graphic. So have this offset on in offset we put that hello. So here we put that we have 10% of the toilets which were directly connected to sewers, and 2% were the toilets which were connected to open drains. So of these 10% toilets which were connected to sewers, out of that 80% of the wastewater from those toilets were 80% of the wastewater was reaching to the treatment plants. So let's just see this 10% wastewater contained. Why it is contained? Because toilet connected to a sewer is a contained system. That's why the graphic is showing it green. So you can see in this part that the graphic is showing 10% green here, and out of that 80% is reaching. So if you say what is the 80% of 10, then 8% is reaching to the treatment. So here it is going and it is reaching to the treatment. And then how much it is treating, it is 10%. How it is coming? Wastewater treated 9%. Let's just see. In the below part we have this small red line. You can see the red line. This shows the toilets which were connected directly to open drains, as we mentioned earlier.
I couldn't understand this one. The wastewater content delivered to treatment is 8%. So you were mentioning that wastewater content is 10%, and
why it is going 8%? Because here we took 80% of the wastewater in the sewer system which is delivered to centralized treatment plants is 80%. So if you try to find out what is 80% of 10,
okay,
that is 8%.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Got it?
Yes, thank you.
So in the below in the next part we have this small red line. This red line represents the toilets which are directly connected to open drains. So we have taken 2% of those kind of systems. So this line is representing that 2%, and out of that 2%, when it comes to emptying and when it comes to next part, only 80% is going to the treatment. And rest is going to wastewater, sorry. Wastewater not delivered to treatment. So you can see this 2% is coming from some part from the toilet which are directly connected to sewer, and some part which is toilet connected to the open drain of storm sewer. And the remaining 1% is adding to the 8% which was reaching to the treatment plant, and with that it becomes 9% here. Wastewater treated is 9% here. I hope you are able to match with what I'm saying. I mean, it will be much more clearer when you will generate the graphic, but it's just to simply understand what we fed into the graphic and how it is coming, what we are able to see. Hello?
Harsh, just requesting you to repeat the.
Can you be a bit louder?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
So I'm just requesting you to repeat about the red line after wastewater under the blue line on offset sanitation, like wastewater contain 10%. Under that line, we have seen a red line. So can you tell us again about the red line?
Under 10%, na?
That's 2%. The red line is.
The red line is showing the 2% of the toilets which were connected to open drains. If I go upside, you can see there are toilets directly connected to open drains. But why this is red in color? Because this is not a contained system. Open drains are never contained. They are this is not contained kind of system. That is why this color is red. I hope it is clear now.
Yeah, it's clear.
And after the 8% green one, how it became 9%?
Is coming. Hello.
Hello, yes.
8% is coming as 80% of 10%.
No, that I understood. The last one in the treatment section, how it became 9%, 8%
Some
plus.
percentage was getting treated from the 2% also, no? So it came as it was added in this 9%, 8% plus some percent was from that. So
imagine 80% of 12, because 10 plus 2 is 12, and 80% of that is going to be around 9.
Yeah. Simply you can imagine 80% of 12.
Thank you.
With this, that is what getting treated, and the rest which is not getting treated, it is becoming 2%. That we will call as wastewater, not which is not delivered to the treatment plant. It would be 2% of wastewater which is not delivered to the treatment plant. It is here.
Yeah, so thank you, Harsh. So basically what you can see, we have added so many systems, so many entries, fecal, sludge, supernatant, but the graph, I mean, finally the graphic generator is working for us to cumulatively tell us what is the total fecal sludge that is getting generated, what is the total fecal sludge which is getting emptied, what is the supernatant which is getting treated, what is the fecal sludge which is. So that's how the tool is, that's the work tool is doing for us. We have just entered for each system. Can you just scroll up a bit, Harsh, where the matrix was there? Yeah, so while we were discussing, somebody shared that for each color, the important entry, what you need to, which is dependent on the population rather, is the very first entry of that particular, for each color, the first column is the entry which is dependent on the population. Let's say W4A, you are saying what is the proportion of wastewater which is that population generating reaching the treatment facility. Beyond that, the next subsequent column, the entry which you do for the first column acts as 100% for you. So let's say we go to yellow color. So you need to enter F3 based on your calculations which you have done, which is 70% of the systems are getting emptied, or 70% of the population is emptying their systems. But second and third column are so first column is going to act as 100% for second column, and second column is going to act as 100% for third column. And that's how you enter the values. Similarly for supernatant also. Only the first entry is going to be based on your calculations with population. Beyond that, the next entry is out of 100%. So first column becomes 100% for the subsequent columns. I hope it is making sense to you.
I think that after practicing only we will get, because
Yeah.
This is just to initiate, like, how do we generate a graphic from the percentage we have already calculated. Once we'll be able to calculate the percentage in the Excel, then it would be very easy to feed in this graphic. So,
Okay, so what we'll do is we are running behind schedule a bit. I think it's time to break into rooms, but if you want, we can break for 5-10 minutes now and then start the exercise. But 10 minutes means 10 minutes. And then once we start the exercise, then we will not break in between. We will continue with the exercise, complete that exercise, and then finish.
Okay, 10 minutes.
So it's 3:37 by my clock. I can give you another a minute or two. So let's say 3:50 sharp, we will join back. And once you join back, there will be Harsh will be sharing a dummy data of a city, which all of you have to go through as a group. You can, of course, download that file and go through. So in any case, we will upload that document. Harsh, you can upload the document. If anybody who's not going for tea break can have a look at that. But at 3:50, we will join back in groups. All of you are supposed to go through the data given, and then as a group, start kind of concluding that what are the systems which are prevalent in the city, what is the percentage dependent, and complete that story for wastewater, for fecal sludge, for supernatant. And then eventually, after if you have done all the calculations, then start using the graphic generator. All of you know where the graphic generator is. It's on the website, sfd.cesana.org. But don't use the graphic generator right from the beginning. You will get confused. First, go through the data, analyze the data, then open the graphic generator. In any case, we'll upload the case example, but 3:50 we convene back.
Also, just one more point. Harsh is mentioning of Excel file again and again. So also, if you can show that Excel file before we start for the exercise.
So you will have to create your own Excel file. Let's resume. Harsh, would you share your screen and show that Excel sheet for everybody's benefit? And this is just an example. You can create, of course, your own Excel sheets. It's not that this is the only way we have to do it. You can scroll it down and show, right?
So this is just a sample Excel. Don't go with the numbers. I've just put it randomly. So in the above part, it is telling about the general information in the city, like what is the population, what is the data from the department of the latest population you have got, then what is the number of household, water supply data, what is the area of the city, how many number of drains are in the city, and then there is the comparison of different type of systems and what is the percentage we have taken for generating the SFD graphic. Do you want me to zoom it now?
So basically, I mean, if I can comment on it, you need to first decide on the systems you think are prevalent in the city. And then based on different sources of data, as Harsh is showing, there is a value given by that particular source. Like a key informant interview has given us some value. FGD has given us some value. Based on our household survey, we have come up with some value. So all those values in each column, and then the final value which we enter in the SFD based on the assumptions or average out the numbers or so whatever it is, and then we explain how we have come down to that number. So once you have given each of those things number, and then rest of the chain emptying transport is maybe further down if it is explained. Can you go down? And on the left, yeah, so number of vehicles, etc. So all of this is going to help you to calculate the emptying done, etc. So I think in this particular city there was no sewage treatment plant, but then if you have one, then you need to. So this is just putting all the values together and then coming out with the final numbers that you will enter in the graphic generator. And it is not necessary that you have to complete the Excel sheet and then you start feeding in there. Once you have got at least, you are able to put a number on the systems prevalent, then you can shift to graphic generator and start entering values there. That's also okay. So once you've decided the 4 or 5 systems that are prevalent, and then each system you have a percentage of population based on all the data given to you. Once that is done, then it is better to start working on the graphic generator directly.
Should I share it in the group?
No, I mean this looks very extensive work to be done. It's not. I would rather encourage all of you to develop your own sheet. Just have systems in place and the population dependent. You are able to do that, and then you can start using the graphic generator directly.
In that Excel sheet, ST means septic tank and
Yeah.
FLT means?
Fully lined tank.
Fully lined tank.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So again, Zoom is creating some issues. So sure. Okay. If everybody is back and everybody is clear what we are supposed to do, the exercise is uploaded on the chat. There's a PDF file. I hope everybody can see it. If there is anybody who is not able to see that file, you can raise your hand. We can upload it again. But it is required. Harsh, can you upload it once more?
Sure.
So everybody is supposed to download it. It's not that one group, only one person will download. Everybody is supposed to download this file. And before you start interacting in the group, all of you are supposed to go through this 2-pager document and then start the group discussion afterwards. And one of the persons, so the people who took lead in the last discussion will not be taking lead. Somebody else will take lead this time. And you can open an Excel sheet if you want. You can open a PowerPoint or just make a table on a Word file, howsoever you want to do. After you have read through the data given, start working on, as a group, deciding the systems and the percentage of population dependent on the systems. That would be your subsequent steps as of now. So I am randomly dividing the groups again. Wishes. So I think everybody is going to be back soon. So,
Imran, can you please share your screen?
so people enjoyed using the generator.
Yes, we did enjoy it, but
Yes.
So you have to blame Harsh to actually give you a very difficult exercise. But this is how you get the data from field. You will not get in percentages ready to be entered.
I mean, when you, just to share my field experience, sometimes you will get nothing from the field. I mean, officials would say, no, we do not have any data. Then you have to figure out what channel you have to go with, where you can find clues to find data.
yeah, we can understand. The situation here in Nepal is also the same. There are not so many data regarding fecal laws and regarding this this particular sector. So we need to work out everything by ourselves.
Okay. So in interest of time, we have overshot. I was assuming that today we should be able to finish by 6:30, but again, we have overshot that time. But again, the idea was that you spend more and more time with the graphic generator and discuss among yourselves. And this process is actually very stakeholder driven because there is no correct answer or no one person can say this is it is. So as a group, you need to come to a conclusion that this is the correct picture of the city or what we can comprehend from the data. So I would, before we finish, I would really like people to share their SFD. I don't want to get into too much of, because again, the idea was that you use the tool and not whether you are able to kind of get the 100% correct SFD, but how the tool works is what the idea was. So still, I would say if from group one, if you can show your matrix, SFD is completely dependent on your matrix. So if you can show your matrix to us and and then the SFD and then we'll move to the next group. Anybody from group one?
Yeah, I'm sharing. But there are lots of confusion. We are during the data analysis. We have found it is too complicated to find the actual percentage. We need to practice more. It is as it is this one is the
No,
first.
it's actually, see, none of you have actually gone to the field.
Yeah.
So, and that's the reason the confidence level to take an assumption or to say that, yes, this is the percentage, correct percentage, it's not there. And that is the reason in the beginning I said that people who are going to use the tool should go to the field, understand the city from their own eyes. Then the even the assumptions will be correct. And the SFD, you can also say that whether this SFD is really showing the true picture which you have seen on ground. So go down, show your SFD. We'll look at the other SFDs also.
Yeah, yeah.
So you said 20% is all connected offsite, okay. And what's the overall picture? Go down. $34.66. So yeah, it is very, very near to what the actual picture is. So I would ask you to unshare your screen. Let's go to group two. Let's have a look at all three.
Okay.
And then we will have a 5 minutes discussion on it.
Stop sharing. Where did you stop sharing?
Or should I do it for you?
I haven't found that. Stop sharing. Yeah, I found that. Yeah.
Group two. Who was doing from group two?
Imran bhai, can you please share your screen?
Imran bhai, please share your screen.
Yeah. Okay, your SFD looks very green.
Actually, a lot of it changed in the last moment. The first, you were there when we lost everything in the first go, what we felt.
Okay, okay,
And
okay, okay.
in the end, there were like 20 seconds left, and I don't know. I think.
So looking at the SFD, it looks like you have got a very good percentage of supernatant which is contained. That means you have selected septic tank connected to sewer network around 62%, which is very high, which is not the case, of course. But then, okay, benefit of the doubt because you lost your SFD, which you did. We can, okay, this Shitpur is from West Bengal, is it?
No, it was written North India and yeah, mountainous region.
Okay.
It's written on the screen, Shivani.
Okay, let's look at group 3.
Shivali, please share.
This one is quite similar to group 1. So yeah, and also very close to the actual picture.
Yes, he was there, and we just missed the issue of license.
Okay. So okay, so I want an open discussion on the process, and I know the time given to do the analysis was less. The data given was confusing, but it is a very I would say similar to the real picture which you will get in terms of data. So and you will there will be no pressure to you that you have to do all the calculations in 1 hour. The confusions are happening because you're supposed to do everything in 1 hour, and some of you thought that it's actually too much of calculation, but it is not. If we will consider all the 3 stories of wastewater, supernatant, fecal sludge separately and try to equate left hand side to right hand side, it's not that tough. And because you were doing the very first SFD, it might have looked like it's confusing. I'm sure if a similar example is given to you again, you will be able to do it in much quicker, and also the SFDs will be quite similar if all the 3 groups were supposed to do it. So maybe you can share the SFD. It's so what is it that you felt was very difficult, or which is kind of beyond your comprehension, and that we can discuss, and maybe the other group people can share how they calculated that portion. Anybody? Or was it, yeah, though it was tough, but I've got it now and I can make. How many of you are confident that you can now do an SFD on your own? You can raise your hand.
Actually, we are confident in terms of what we have done till now, but we need definitely we need further go through the materials, so we can say that we are confident to develop SFT. But till now, what we have learned, that will inspire us to study further or work on making SFD further.
Okay. Any input from the Nepali participants?
Yeah, it was good, but I could not fully participate in the group work as the internet service is not good today. And also one of our friends, Suras, he also could not make it. The electricity was not there. He called me. I think I have shared chat also. So ultimately, the calculation uh, were tough for me. So I could not like give my input on that. But however, I uh, learned how to analyze. But we have to give some time for it. So if the time is given more to the analysis, then the graphics, I think it looks good, and it will help to certainly help to for the program to make SRT.
Okay, so
Yeah, I learned.
yeah, thank you. So what I was thinking was that maybe we can do another assignment because the time was less. So we'll share an assignment of similar dummy city. This time there'll be no group work. You can take a couple of days and come back to us with the SFD and the matrix, and we can give you our inputs with respect to if it is correct, if it is not, and where you need to improve. So that will be another practice for you, and maybe that helps to
Yeah,
boost your
definitely.
confidence.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
And thank you, my group team, mm, everybody who were in group 3, and also other participants. Thank you very much. And sorry to say, I could not give my full support to you in the.
No issues. We need to live with the technology. That's okay. Anybody else wants to say anything in terms of, so for me the idea was that you spend more and more time with the graphic generator, because otherwise you will not, I know. And the purpose for me, it is solved that you've racked your brains, did the analysis. So analysis can't be taught. Analysis can be only done with the data. So once you see more set of data and do your own analysis for your own city or for one more dummy city, that will boost your confidence. And yeah, from my side, I'm quite happy the way you have all have participated, and I am sure that a little bit of more help you will be ready. So that I think that this thing can work. We'll send you an assignment. If not over the weekend, you will get an email from us. But then it's up to you if you really want to try it out and send us back. If you don't, then the whole exercise might not really be of any help. And as the Nepali participants would be aware, we had this arrangement with 500B solutions that you all will be developing SFDs after this training. So there'll be support from CSE at all levels when you go and do the field work. So I mean, this in between for everybody, this step we'll do. We'll send you this assignment. And how many days is okay? 3 days? Would you be able to?
I think 5 days because tomorrow is weekend and day after tomorrow.
If I will give you 5 days, I will not even get one assignment back. I know.
So we will do it. We have other things. If we want to try out and definitely learn, we'll do it. There is always an exception. One thing I want to ask you, getting the graphic generator first, like the parameters, what is in the SFD given in vertical and horizontal, that we can do reverse type of things so that the data can be accumulated. But now we could not understand. Population is easy to understand, but propagating from the population like 90% or 100%, that is one difficult part, because there are 3 type of data they are telling. Mason, as you said, if you go to ground only, which fellow is reliable we can tell. So one fellow is telling completely nothing is there, no desludging. One fellow is telling village, they are coming and getting into that. So my point is that for a newcomers or anybody, can we keep as that SFD template the generic template and then try to fill the data, that will work out?
So what do you mean by SFD template?
Like for example, when you have an SFD template, you are showing like a pit connected to the sievers, like W variables and this one. Can we take that template and then try to fill from the data which is given to us, like, okay, this is C1 network, this is there, first stick it as an, then try to populate it.
Yeah. Just to add this point, there is something known as SANI plan, which is by CWAS, SAP University. So you can just search it, SANI plan. So what they do is they feed in this data. So they already have an Excel sheet. They feed in just what is population, how many percentage of C1 network. Other all calculation is automatically done in the Excel sheet and graph is automatically generated. So what you can do is you can have a similar what I think Shubha ma'am is telling. So you can have this something to add one, like, so what is the population of city? Then you we will just add on these values and automatically the SFD calculates that things. And just we need to add this T1, C3 afterwards, and then the automatically it's just a
I mean, it's a very good idea. But then from last 3 years we have been contemplating, because it's a global tool. It should work in Africa, in Asia, everywhere. And the terminologies which you get on field are very, very diverse. And that's the reason we have kind of called it this T1, A1, C1. All of this is because to go away with the terminologies, the local terminologies. That is why each code is kind of defined. And what you're saying about SANI plan, okay. So this discussion we have had with the global players, and so because there are several ways to reach to 1%, to generate actually one tool which will work, which will fit all kinds of scenarios. So let me put it this way: if sanitation was so simple, we would have solved this much earlier.
True.
Sanitation is a complex subject, and in the subcontinent it is even further complex because of various players which are trying to contribute or not contribute to the cause. So what we have right now is a very, very simple version. If I would have shown you the Excel sheet which we used to use, you will not sit for 5 minutes. So the graphic generator where you're seeing not applicable, all this have actually is a very, very improved version. And I am telling you this, whatever difficulty you're facing today is because it is the first one you have tried. If I will do a similar session tomorrow, you will be telling me, oh, put this here, put this there. I can assure you that. So anything which you do for the first time, which is new to you, might be difficult, looks difficult. And apologies from my side that we have taken a very tough example right from the beginning. Otherwise, we generally take a simple example which boosts up the confidence, and then once you go to the field, you realize, okay, it's not that simple. So if it was really simple, why you and me would be sitting and spending so much of time here? Yeah, so it is. But then if you will do one and you will do two, you will be very, very, I would say you will become pro in it sooner. Yeah. So I think the only thing which is left is more practice on analysis part. And as I'm saying this, the promotion initiative is actually working to make it further simple. As you're saying that SANI plan, we are contemplating how can we do it. We are also contemplating, can we feed in data right from the field to a tool which can translate your data into population and then feed into the graphic generator. All that we are working on. But till then, this is what we have to live with it. And I can assure you, this is not that difficult.
Just to add what Bitusha said, I mean, you all also can play from here. I mean, you can put some random data in the graphic generator and see what kind of systems what kind of graphics you are able to generate. Then also you can change the figures and try again and again. And this is just to play with the graphic generator.
Yeah, I also learned it this way only. So what happens if I change the percentage of fecal sludge? What is the effect on the graphic? What happens if I say 0% are getting their tanks emptied? So when I spend more time with the graphic generator, I could already imagine if I feed in something in the matrix, what the graphic will show. So once you get to that level, it will become really, really easy. And the analysis also becomes easier then, because you know that if I feed in what number I feed in, what I eventually get in the graphic. So once you go to the field, now I would imagine you can already create the graphic in your mind that this is how my graphic should look like, because you spent the time in the field. So what the two things which are missing here is that you have not spent the time yourself in the field, and that you're using the graphic generator for the first time. And because these two you can easily work upon, you will go to the field eventually, and also you will spend more time to the graphic generator. And CAC is always there as a backend support. You can always make an SFD, send us, and we can give you your feedback where you're going wrong, if at all it is. But sooner or later, I think you will catch the code. You will crack this code if at all there is. Okay. Somebody was complaining.
So, Bitush, thank you for your support. I would like to request you to open the gateway of quiz. I just missed the quiz.
Ekta, do we have it for today? Yes, we do. Okay, you can see the poll in front of you. Thank you everybody for participating. I was saying that somebody was complaining yesterday it was a long day. So I think today that complaint has been taken care of.
We'll be in touch with Bitush, any doubts on anything.
Sure.
Sure.
I would suggest we can make a WhatsApp group as well, or this all the people of the group.
Yeah.
And we can kind of update each other what we are trying to do. If there is any doubt, we can help each other solve that doubt. Of course, and then we'll be there to help in any ways. So that ways it will be easier to communicate, less time consuming.
Website we can get different scenarios, like already SFD was working. Different scenarios we have, so that we want to practice and see.
So if I can show you from my screen itself. If you go to graphic generator, there are already so all the developed SFDs are already there, so you can play around with them as well. Just a second. So once you go to the graphic generator, I'll just take another 2 minutes and we'll close. You see there is this library. You have all these SFDs already there, and you can see the matrix and everything of these SFDs from or different regions. You can the city you are trying to develop, you can look a similar city there, how they have done, what they have done. So for example, if I open one of the, so let me open a hilly city of a hilly region. So as soon as I say load SFD, you get all the data already added here, the matrix, how they have chosen the systems, what percentages have been fed in, and what is the final SFD. And you can play around with this also. If you want to change something here and see how the SFD is changing, you can do that as well. So that flexibility is again there on the graphic generator. And looking at the several SFDs of several cities will also give you, and not just the SFD, also the matrix, also the selection grid will give you a fair amount of idea how certain cities have gone about doing the SFDs. So there are fair amount of SFDs now, more than 100, and in our region it will be I think around, if not less, around 60 should be there, more than 60 in Asia.
So are we allowed to download this SFD once we fill in the information, or maybe you can tell us a little bit more on how we can actually get this SFD related files in our computer?
So once you generate the SFD, there are so many ways you can download. There's a graphic as a PNG, there's a matrix as PNG, but the most important is you just press this button, download data. What you download then is a JSON file. Now this JSON file I can open anytime later on as well. So let's say you have done 50% of the work on your files, and then you just download data. So this is the as well I just downloaded. So let's say I want to reopen the file which I have saved. So I'll go at the top. I'll say choose one of your own SFD files. And then wherever I have saved that JSON file, I can, so this is where I have saved. So I can just press this, open it. It will open my data which I had saved, all that. And so I always suggest to download the JSON file because you can reopen it and then download all the PNGs, etc., etc. Okay.
One final doubt, for the organization, you should create any login password, or it is like in the open source only we have to do it and save it so everybody can view.
Sorry, come again.
So when you're using this SFT portal, it's
Yeah.
open source, right? Anybody can use it, and then there is no license or copyright. To keep it as an institutional credibility doing the process of the project, whether you have to create any username password, or it's like generally we have to log in and save it and get it.
There is no login. So, and your JSON file is only with you.
Okay. Yeah, that's the thing.
Nobody can see your JSON file. It's just that the graphic generator is open source. But till the time I have finalized the SFD, I've reviewed the SFD, and I want to upload here on the graphic generator and submit it to Susanna, till then your file is with you.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's end the poll also. And this is how it looks like. Okay, good. So again, thank you so much, and sorry for extending it infinitely. It was nice spending last 11, 12 hours in 3 days with you guys. And looking forward to, I would request my team, somebody can help us do the WhatsApp group. Harsh, can you? And yeah, so hi.
Just one thing. Have you all shared your WhatsApp number in this when you were filling the form?
I'll set it once again in the chat room.
What we can do is we can do it in the discussion forum, which is in the online CSE. Usme we can add our all WhatsApp numbers.
Yeah, sure. That would be.
So on the Moodle platform, you initiate one discussion, Harsh. I think everybody is there on the Moodle, so they can add their phone numbers, and as soon as you get most of them, you make the group.
I'll create a WhatsApp group. Do write the code and all.
You will be sharing the recording and PPT afterwards, right?
Yeah, I'll upload in the Moodle.
Okay.
I'll upload in the Moodle.
Thanks. Thanks.
Okay. Bye bye. Bye bye.
So I'm requesting everyone not to leave. Just open once again your camera and take a photo. Maybe it's online selfie or anything.
We'll take a screenshot.
So requesting all to open camera. Okay.
Everybody can say paneer.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah.
Go home.
Okay, bye bye. Bye bye. See you.